Am I ever going to write in a genre other than epic fantasy? Let's find out. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching once again. My name is Alex Shagir, and I am an epic fantasy author. I'm going to be covering in this episode. Am I ever going to write in a genre that's different than fantasy or specifically epic fantasy? If you're here for the short answer is probably not. I'll give a long answer in a moment, but this is a legitimate question because there are authors, very well renowned epic fantasy authors, who have kind of crossed genres a little bit. I know two of my favorite authors, Brandon Sanderson, Stephen Donaldson, and then I'm sure there's several others who have dabbed their feet in other waters, at science fiction, maybe even some young adult, children's books. So there's a lot of different ways that authors have spread their wings and flown around and try their hand at other writings, and they've been good. I actually haven't read science fiction aspects of both of those just because I just really cater more towards the fantasy side of things. But I'm sure they're great, and there's reasons for going over. But there's some reasons why I'm not going to be going that route. In fact, I have three reasons here. The first one is just simply I've talked about it before. I write what I love to write, and that's epic fantasy. I do enjoy other genres. I enjoy specifically science fiction. I haven't read nearly as many science fiction books as fantasy by a long shot. But for instance, I am a big fan of Dune, and I think Dune has a lot of fantasy undertones. I've actually covered a series of me reading through Dune that talks a little bit about this. Feel free to check out. Um, and I've read a couple Star Wars books, not many, mostly Dune. And there's some other science fiction I do want to read out there. I think it's an important genre. I know there's some great books. But epic fantasy is where my passion is at, is what I enjoy writing. It's what I know how to write. And so that's just one main reason why I'm going to stick with the genre. Second, this is kind of a defense about not spreading out to other genres. I can practice uh, themes and elements from other genres into epic fantasy, for instance, mystery, thriller, war, crime, all of these things. And believe it or not, maybe even a little bit of science fiction. Not the technology aspect, but from different things I want to play around with in the future with my epic fantasy series. So even though I'm sticking with epic fantasy, there's no reason. In fact, my second book I'm working on right now, I'm really excited for. That's got kind of a mystery, crime undertone to it. It is still very much epic fantasy by nature, but someone who enjoys reading crime would definitely enjoy reading this one. There's definitely a lot of elements involved there that someone in that genre would appreciate. So I don't need to write a mystery book or a crime thriller or anything like that just for the sake of being able to write those aspects from the genre. I can incorporate it very much into epic fantasy because those are elements, right? That can be sprinkled in through the overall epic fantasy story that's being told. And third, I really want to push the boundaries of epic fantasy, and there's only so much time in my life to be able to do that. Um, Now, of course, everyone when they think about pushing the bounds of epic fantasy, they think of obviously Tolkien who started it, right? But expanding upon it, and there's been more than just these couple on the way, but I think the two that really come to mind are Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, just from the scale and scope of their writing. I know that other authors have definitely pushed the boundaries in other ways. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just thinking about the scale, scope of the world, the universe, and just how epic fantasy can be. I have I have some ideas on how I really want to push the extreme boundaries of what we think of as epic fantasy. And it's going to be difficult because it's a challenging task, but I am up for it. I want to create something amazing. And if I start to wander off and think, okay, well, maybe I can write even just one science fiction book, it just takes away from that ultimate goal I have of creating something that I think is going to be worthwhile, not to just me, but for everyone who loves epic fantasy. So those are the 3 reasons. I write what I love. I love epic fantasy. I don't see any reason not to write anything other than epic fantasy, especially since going on my second point, I can sprinkle in elements that I want because I'm a huge fan of I like a good story no matter what it is, whether it's a movie or a book. If it's a good story, I enjoy it. Even a little bit of horror I've come to appreciate, especially like the Scream movies. I love the the dramatic elements to that movie. It's such a great movie. So yeah, I'm a fan of things, even if they don't fall for sure. I'm not a horror person, but um, if there's a genre or a story that I'm not particularly fond of, if it does it well and it tells a great story and it's enjoyable, then I'll watch and read it. So I'm not just an epic fantasy only person. It's just what I love, and I'm gonna take different flavors of what I like and put it in my books. Not to make it some cross genre book. I don't want that at all. But I can have a little bit of thriller in my epic fantasy to put people on the edge of their seat. I can have maybe a couple different mystery parts to make people intrigued and wonder what's happening. So there's a lot of different ways that I can incorporate all of that into my epic fantasy writing. And then finally, pushing the boundaries of epic fantasy. Um, Again, grand plans. I'm not going to share them all here. Everyone will think I'm crazy, but I'll be revealing those along the way. Thank you for watching this episode. I really greatly appreciate the support. Anything early on helps. Just watching through all the way that you've done now is great. But one thing that really goes the extra mile is giving this video a like. And if you feel inclined to do so, please comment. If you feel a little bit shy about commenting in public for everyone to see, you can use my contact form on my website, which is linked below. Definitely feel free to reach out to me there if you have anything you want to talk about. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.